Hello. Yes, it is.
And you want your t-shirt?
Uh, 2-minute warning. We'll go start the meeting in about 2 minutes. Just a reminder for those members of the administration, if you would please mute your devices unless answering a question. Thank you.
Yeah, Vince.
The August 25th, 2020 special meeting of the Monroe County Legislature will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Alcoffer.
Here.
Mr. Alcoffer is present. Mr. Ansello.
Here.
Mr. Ansello is present. Ms. Barnhart.
Here.
Ms. Barnhart is present. Mr. Baroth.
Here.
Mr. Baroth is present. Mr. Baines.
Here.
Mr. Baines is present. Ms. Boyce.
Here.
Boyce is present. Mr. Brew.
Here.
Mr. Brew is present. President Carbone.
Here.
President Carbone is present. Mr. Delahanty.
Here.
Mr. Delahanty is present. Ms. DeFlorio.
Here.
Ms. DeFlorio is present. Mr. Dondorfer.
Here.
Mr. Dondorfer is present. Mr. Felder.
Here.
Felder is present. Mr. Flagler Mitchell.
Here.
Mr. Flagler Mitchell is present. Ms. Hassman.
Here.
Ms. Hassman is present. Mr. Hebert.
Here.
Mr. Hebert is present. Mr. Chiofetlassi.
Here.
Mr. Chiofetlassi is present. Ms. Lamar.
Here.
Ms. Lamar is present. Mr. Lee.
Here.
Mr. Lee is present. Mr. Mafucci.
Here.
Mr. Mafucci is present. Mr. Marionetti.
Here.
Mr. Marionetti is present. Mr. Morelli.
Here.
Mr. Morelli is present. Ms. Roman?
Here.
Ms. Roman is present. Ms. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Smith is present. Ms. Taylor?
Here.
Ms. Taylor is present. Mr. Terp? Mr. Wilcox?
Here.
Mr. Wilcox is present. Mr. Wilt?
Here.
Mr. Wilt is present. Mr. Udelson?
Here.
Mr. Udelson is present. Mr. Zale?
Here.
Mr. Zale is present.
We will need to suspend the rules of the legislature for the purpose of prohibiting public in-person attendance in accordance with the Executive Order 202.1, which is extended through September 4th by Executive Order 202.55. You have a motion before you, which is moved by Legislator Brew and seconded by Legislator Zale. This is a non-debatable motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Please join me in a moment of silent prayer. Please stand as Legislator Sean Delahanty will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Legislator Delahanty.
To the flag of the
Of the United States of America. And to the republic for
where
which
we
it stands,
stand,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Record will reflect that Legislator Terp entered the meeting.
Thank you, Legislator Delahanty. I call this special meeting of the legislature pursuant to the authority vested in me as president of the Monroe County Legislature by section C29C1 of the county charter and section 545-5 of the rules of the legislature of the county of Monroe. This meeting has been closed to the public and all legislators are participating via teleconference in accordance with Executive Order 202.1 and 202.55. In keeping with the legislature's tradition of openness, the meeting is being live streamed on YouTube through the legislature's official channel. Everyone participating via video or teleconference will please mute their devices except to obtain the floor or cast a vote if seeking to obtain the floor. Please simply state your name and wait for me to call on you before proceeding with your question or statement. The clerk will read the full title of each resolution and referral to avoid any confusion as to which item is before the legislature. All votes will be held via voice vote unless a roll call is requested. Tonight we will consider a motion to recess the special meeting and convene a committee of the whole. In doing so, we will also discharge those items currently referred to the committee and commit them to the committee of the whole. All legislators will be members of the committee of the whole and able to participate in debate and vote on items regardless of their respective committee assignments or which committees the referral was initially assigned. The committee of the whole will be governed by the same rules of the legislature that govern committee meetings, and the votes taken are equivalent to those taken in committee. Meaning items passed by the committee of the whole will be considered for final approval or appropriate action at the next regularly scheduled meeting of the legislature. We will now hold the public forum. Mr. Clerk.
We had a number of individuals submit written email comment for the public forum. Our first comment comes from Deborah McMullen. Stop risking our election and confirm the Democratic Board of Elections Commissioner now. Our next email comes from Marge Ricotta. What is going on? Please stop risking our election and confirm the Democratic Board of Elections Commissioner now. Our next email is from Aaron Clegg. Clegg said, please confirm the Democratic Board of Elections to avoid risking our election process. Our next email is from Terry Carter. Why are you delaying confirmation of the Democratic Board of Elections Commissioner? If you are not, why is that person not yet confirmed? Next email is from Jeremy Schur. Please confirm Jackie Ortiz as Board of Elections Commissioner immediately. The delay in confirming her is dangerous to our democracy and unbecoming of this legislature. Our next email is from Kathleen Ione. I'm writing to comment on the special meeting of the county legislature on August 25th. The Monroe County Democratic Committee voted for Jackie Ortiz to be the next Democratic Board of Elections Commissioner on July 25th. Judge Ark has said that there is nothing preventing the legislature from acting on this matter. Please honor that election and defend our democracy. Please confirm Jackie Ortiz now. Thank you. Our next email is from Jean Woderick, urging all legislators to confirm Jackie Ortiz now. The voters are watching. Next email is from Karen Pascuzzi. Confirmation of Jackie Ortiz as Monroe County Elections Commissioner must be accomplished immediately to ensure timely and responsible processing of our ballots in the upcoming November election. Our next email is from Naomi Harrell. Confirm Democratic Board of Elections Commissioner now. Next email is from Aaron Glanton. I would encourage you to move forward on confirmation of Jackie Ortiz as the Democratic Board of Elections Commissioner. Our democratic ideals around elections and confidence in the process are being threatened. Next email is from Emily Neese. We voted for her. We were the majority. Stop the obstruction. Next email is from Lisa Coopery. Please protect our rights by ensuring that all legislators defund our democracy by confirming Jackie Ortiz. Next email is from Teresa Kenley. Failure to confirm Jackie Ortiz as Board of Elections Commissioner is unconscionable. Vote on it now. There's too much at stake in the general election to risk petty, local-level politics getting in the way of fair and efficient elections. Our next email is from Marianne French. This year's election is the most critical one in my lifetime and determines if we still have a democracy in this country. This is not the time for petty nonsense that could lead to voter confusion, election site disorganization, and any other negativity that could affect voter turnout. A very good friend is an election site inspector and told me recent primary was a discombobulated mess. This cannot happen in November. Please confirm Jackie Ortiz, ensure there are enough polling places, enough trained inspectors, and give the public the confidence we must have in our election results. Next email is from Mary Valenti. Jackie Ortiz was duly elected to the position of Commissioner of Monroe County Board of Elections with an overwhelming 87% of the vote. Yet she remains unconfirmed because Legislator Carbone is indulging in a toddler-like tantrum. An historically momentous election is weeks away, but instead of working tirelessly to ensure the safety and efficacy of the election process, you are choosing to obstruct in any way possible. The partisan bickering is an embarrassment. You were elected to act on behalf of the residents of Monroe County, not just the ones you agree with. Stop acting like a 2-year-old refusing to eat his vegetables and do your expletive job. Next email is from Robert Fasinski. Please do not delay the confirmation of the Democratic Board of Elections Commissioner. Act immediately so as to not risk the validity of our election process. If you are unable to do as asked, please provide a reason in reply to this email. Next email is from Douglas Robb. In these difficult times, people are stressed enough. We do not need additional stress. Please end this and confirm the Democratic Board of Elections Commissioner now. Next email is from Ann Casey. There is a legitimate process by which positions are filled. A temporary appointment is no guarantee to a permanent one. All legislators need to defend our democracy and vote to confirm Jackie Ortiz. Follow the rules, do your job. She also asked that the following be added. We have an election coming in November, and this obstructionism is hurting our democracy. This needs to happen now. Next email is from Marianne Pastecki. Stop risking our election and confirm the Democratic Board of Elections Commissioner now. Defend our democracy and confirm Jackie Ortiz. Our next email is from Ian Watkins. Good evening, legislators. You may be wondering why a number of so-called concerned citizens have sent emails to be read during the public forum of tonight's meeting, urging a vote on the Democratic Election Commissioner spot. Don't be fooled. This is not an organic grassroots movement. These emails were solicited by County Clerk Jamie Romeo in a paid social media political ad that blames Republicans in general and Carla Boyce in particular for the hullabaloo. Of course, Jamie knows this is not the case, but why would Jamie let facts get in the way of a political hit job on an opponent? If all this seems too familiar, it should. Jamie Romeo's social media shenanigan mirror Adam Bellows' robocall that trolled for public forum emails earlier this year. A robocall that was, very likely, illegal, according to both state and federal standards. So now you know you are not witnessing a sudden wave of public sentiment. It's just Jamie Romeo attempting to play you all in a very desperate attempt to become relevant. Our next email is from Vicki Beaver. I'm writing because I don't understand how legislators can overrule Monroe County Democratic Committee members' votes to fill the open Democratic Board of Elections Commissioner position with Jackie Ortiz. News reports indicate that 15 Republicans and 5 Democrats voted simply to not hold the confirmation. With the general election mere weeks away, during a pandemic, we need to take the position she was elected to fill. Aside of being a member of the committee, I am a poll worker. The primary was a disaster in terms of communication from BOE to poll workers, especially Democrats. Personally, I was scheduled without ever being notified that I'd be working early voting, much less being asked what my availability even was. I got a call later asking why I didn't show up, because no one talked to me. If we had a commissioner and not a fill-in, that likely wouldn't have been the case. It certainly wasn't in any of the previous elections I've worked. Please, whatever needs to be done to move this process along needs to be done. It's utter nonsense that the committee held a vote. Ms. Ortiz won by a landslide and still has not been confirmed. What can possibly justify that? Just double checking to make sure I did not miss any. That concludes the public forum.
Before we proceed with the motions and resolutions, I'd like to say that it's no secret there is an open dispute as to who is the rightful minority leader. And I'm here to tell you that I'm not picking sides. There are 2 conflicting stories. Legislator Roman claims she is entitled via caucus vote and Legislator Felder says the vote was not held properly. It is not the role of the president to pick the minority leader. Therefore, I am adjourning this meeting until such time there is
Let's do the
clarity
vote right now.
and consensus. Meeting adjourned.